The man never expected that after accidentally rescuing the imprisoned Celia, the king himself would reward him with an epic greatsword. What the man didn't know was that the enemy nation, in their attempt to kill Celia, had summoned the Minotaur from the abyss, a monster so fearsome that even S-rank adventurers trembled at the mention of it. Yet, the man managed to slice it into 2.5 pieces of beef. Overnight, rumors spread like wildfire through the streets. Whispers spoke of a terrifyingly powerful figure who wielded an old, rusty sword and took down the Minotaur in just 2.5 seconds. After the battle, the prince sent elite troops to investigate, but the man, mistaking them for perverts, quickly lost them. When he returned to the guild master was worried that something had happened to him. It turned out that a rare monster had appeared near the construction site the night before, and since the man had been working there recently, his absence for the night caused concern. The man explained that he had been exhausted after completing a task yesterday and had gone home, even stopping to clean the old lady's drainage ditch on his way, which left him dirty. The guild master breathed a sigh of relief, noting that the monster from last night was incredibly terrifying, and even a potential top-tier adventurer would have been sent to meet their ancestors if they encountered it. Fortunately, the creature was slain by a mysterious man. After receiving his payment for yesterday's work, the man was about to accept a new task when he suddenly heard a voice calling him from behind. It was the girl he had saved the day before, and her presence nearly scared the guild master. Clearly, he knew who she was. The girl had come to repay the man for saving her life. However, given the number of people around, she preferred to discuss matters outside. The guild master immediately grabbed the man, warning him to be extremely careful not to offend her during their conversation. Due to her special status and to avoid drawing attention, the girl activated a shadow and concealment skill, rendering them invisible to the nearby soldiers. The princess, apologetic for her sudden visit, explained that she had not only used a long-range detection skill to find him, but also took him away during her conversation with the guild master. To express her gratitude, her father wanted to meet the man and planned to offer him a sincere reward from their family's wealth. However, the man felt that defeating a single bull in town didn't warrant such a gesture, and that a simple thank you would suffice. While he insisted on declining, the girl began to cry, saying she would stay by his side until he accepted her reward. Seeing her determination reminded the man of his younger self, who had persistently begged his teacher to train him as an adventurer. Reluctantly, he agreed but mentioned that he wouldn't accept anything too extravagant. Before he knew it, the girl had led him to a massive mansion. It was then that the man understood why the guild master had urged him to mind his manners. This girl was likely from a wealthy or noble family. Her name was Cress, but the adventurers affectionately called her Xiaoling. Along the way, they encountered a female knight named Ines. Upon learning that the man behind Xiaoling was her savior and was on his way to meet her father, Ines offered to guide them. The man, mistaking her for a maid, wondered how difficult it must be to clean while wearing armor. Yet, for some reason, he felt that Ines was wary of him. They hadn't walked more than a couple of meters when they encountered a blonde knight. Seeing the man behind Xiaoling, the blonde knight assumed he must be the powerful adventurer from the rumors, but given his appearance, he looked more like a weakling. Ines quickly interrupted and told the blonde knight to join the night patrol, hinting that the more guards, the better. The blonde knight instantly understood that the ordinary-looking man before him wasn't as simple as he appeared. Meanwhile, in the night hall, the king and his son, Rain, were discussing the impending war. The neighboring country had broken the non-aggression pact, and the Minotaur they summoned was meant to force the king to surrender the labyrinth's ownership. If he refused, more threats would follow. War between the two nations seemed inevitable. Just then, the group entered the night hall. The knights knelt, but the man, who had spent most of his life in the mountains and forests, knew nothing of noble etiquette. He apologized in advance if he said anything inappropriate. To his surprise, the king was delighted, saying he didn't care about formalities. In fact, it made their conversation more comfortable. The king once again thanked the man, saying that without his intervention, his daughter might have already passed away. The man wasn't particularly concerned, thinking that now he had accepted the king's thanks, he could go home, bathe, and rest. However, The king insisted that the man couldn't leave empty-handed. Whether it was land or gold, he was willing to fulfill any wish the man had. Seeing the man sweat at the offer, the king mentioned that the kingdom possessed the world's oldest labyrinth, filled with rare treasures stored in the royal vault. He decided to give half of these treasures to the man. The man refused once again. Like father, like daughter, the king was determined to give a reward. The king then noticed the large sword behind him and chose on the man's behalf. The jet black sword, though not visually appealing, had once been the king's personal weapon. Fearing another refusal, the king explained that he had retired years ago and the sword had become nothing more than a decoration. Handing it over to the man was better than letting it continue to gather dust. When the man gripped the sword, he was struck by its immense weight, which surprised the king. Despite being a two-handed sword, the man could wield it with one hand. The king then asked the man for one more favor, to train his daughter, given the turbulent times. Having her learn from the man would be ideal. The man was puzzled by this request, considering himself weak and having nothing valuable to teach. He also believed such decisions should be made by the individual, and that parents shouldn't interfere too much in their children's lives. The king found this perspective intriguing and left the choice to his daughter. With that settled, the man bid farewell to the king. On his way back, he marveled at the heavy sword in his hand, thinking it would be perfect for training. He even noticed that the width of the sword matched that of the drainage ditch near the old lady's house, and thought it would greatly improve his efficiency in clearing it. The king, he mused, would probably never know how bizarre the man's thoughts were. Just then, the blonde knight blocked the man's path. Hey there! If you're loving our content, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. We've got tons of exciting stuff coming your way that you won't want to miss. If you found this valuable, please share it with your friends and family. Let's grow this amazing community together. Thanks for your support. You're what makes this all possible.